When Muhammad Ali passed away last September 3 after a 32-year struggle with Parkinson's disease, the world lost the greatest heavyweight champion of all time, a legendary and caring human being, and we, personally, lost a brother and a friend. The world will never forget the famous Thriller in Manila at the Araneta Coliseum on October 1, 1975, in which Ali beat Frazier by a 14th round TKO after battering the former world champion in the championship rounds, closing his left eye and eventually forcing Frazier's trainer Eddie Futch, one of the greatest gentleman trainers of an era of class, to stop the fight in order to prevent Frazier from getting seriously hurt or even blind, as he couldn't see the right straights of Ali.
I'm quite concerned about the swelling in the left eye because it was quite pronounced at this time, and I was afraid that Joe was going to have a lot of trouble seeing those right hands coming, and it turned out to be the case.
Ali's Hall of Fame trainer, Angelo Dundee, agreed with the decision and said Futch did the right thing.
Well, I noticed that the hematoma going up to his head. Ali was sort of pushing him and shoving him and dominating him. The strength of Ali was pronounced. He'd push him away. And Joe couldn't resist, because Joe was a very strong guy. But that's why I noticed that Ali was taking over.
Having spent 2 weeks with Ali in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, where we were sent with Dr. Alex Magbag, a dentist friend of Ali in the US, who attended to Ali's dental needs and also, like us, was from the Department of Public Information. With instructions to talk to Ali and Angelo Dundee about a possible fight in Manila, while Games and Amusements Board chairman, who was with the First Lady, Mrs. Imelda Romualdez Marcos, in New York, discussed the details of a third fight against Frazier with promoters Don King and Bob Arum. After Tabuena reported to President Marcos, who himself was a boxer in his college days and an ardent boxing fan, the president approved the deal. As Marcos said later during a courtesy call on him and the First Lady by Ali, his girlfriend at that time, the statuesque Veronica Posch, and Frazier and his small entourage, he wanted to showcase the Philippines as a country where there was peace and order, the economy was doing well, and the people were content, in contrast to Western media reports of trouble in the countryside and a growing communist insurgency. Ali himself took the president's words to heart and spread the message wherever he went. In an overseas telephone conversation we had with Ali a few hours before he successfully defended his title with a fifth-round knockout of Jean-Pierre Koopman of Belgium in San Juan, Puerto Rico on February 20, 1976. Ali said he had a special place in his heart for all Filipinos, particularly President Marcos and the First Lady, whom he said he loved very much. In winding up his conversation from his suite in the El San Juan Hotel, he said, "Tell them all I love them very much, and I miss them, and I love to come back one day soon." And he did, for the inauguration of the Ali Mall on June 30, 1976. George Nene Araneta had told Ali at a dinner in his honor after the Frazier fight that he was magnificent and that he would name a mall he was building after him, which thrilled Ali immensely.
He was literally in pain. He could not walk. And I told him, champ, you were magnificent last night. And to honor your victory, I would like to name a building I'm constructing in your name. And he said, okay, I'll come back to the opening.
Last week, the Ali Mall as well as the Araneta Coliseum put on a public exhibit which will go on until the end of June. It was full of memorabilia of the Thriller in Manila, and gave the public a chance to recall the greatness of Ali and his sterling human qualities. We were honored to be invited to reflect on the memory of Ali, the champion and the humanitarian. The host for the event was the lovely Nicole Cordoves, the Binibining Pilipinas Grand International Representative. We were distraught when we heard of Ali's passing shortly after a lengthy interview by Jim Gomez of the Associated Press on our memories of the fight and the man himself. The interview made it to the New York Times, Washington Post, and several major publications, and we were interviewed on numerous radio and TV networks. Here at home, we were on CNN Philippines.
Veteran sportscaster Ronnie Nathaniels, who was then the liaison officer of Muhammad Ali, spoke to us here on CNN Philippines about that unforgettable moment.
That was 1975. We were 3 years into martial rule, and the Western media, in their usual fashion, didn't take too kindly to martial rule, and the Philippines came under some criticism. President Marcos and the First Lady, Louis Tabuena, decided this would be a good way to let the world know what the Philippines was like. And as President Marcos mentioned at the courtesy call of Ali at Malacanang, and he told the American newsmen, the reason we brought this fight here is we want to show that there is peace and order, that the economy is doing well, and our people are contented. So he met those expectations through Muhammad Ali, because Muhammad Ali championed the cause of the Philippines, and he actually, he loved President Marcos, and he told me many times as he embraced the president that he thought he was a great man. And so he bit into that message of President Marcos, and he carried it around the world the rest of his life. Met Ali on the phone when I called his Deer Lake, Pennsylvania camp, and lo and behold, he was the one who answered the phone. Wow. So I was on DZHP at that time, and we had a long conversation. And then he said, send my love to the Filipino people, send my love to my Muslim brothers in Mindanao. He knew everything about the Philippines. And then I said, what about fighting here in sinabi niya? He said, yes, I want to fight in Manila, but I want to fight Joe Frazier and George Foreman on the same night.
Wow, he said that.
Yeah, he said that.
And these pictures, sorry to cut you, Sir Ronnie, but these pictures we're looking are your pictures, and thank you for bringing them. And these are your pictures when Muhammad Ali was there, yes.
That was the arrival, and that was the rope-a-dope trick that he used to do. He liked to do magic. That was in the Kuala Lumpur Hilton Hotel.
Wow.
When I met him for the first time in person, there he was imitating how Joe Frazier would try to stop him from ripping him with jabs to the head. That's another picture of the arrival at the airport.
Is that you? Is that you as well?
No, that's me.
Okay, there.
With Tony Escoda. That, you know, when he used to go down to the coffee shop after his road work,
yes,
he'd drink a huge jug of orange juice. And if he saw a pretty girl there, he'd invite her to sit with him. And that was one picture of a pretty girl whom he invited to sit with him.
Okay, I have a question, Sir Ronnie. How should we Filipinos remember Muhammad Ali?
As a great humanitarian. He was a caring person. He cared for the poor. He cared for the downtrodden. He would stop by on the street and talk to the poorest among the poor. That was the kind of person he was. Even in Africa, you know, he held hands with the little kids and walked around Zaire during the prelude to the rumble in the jungle. And he was very much the same dito sa Pilipinas. He was very much the same here. And the only person I can honestly compare with Muhammad Ali in many respects is Manny Pacquiao. Manny has the same humility, the same concern for the poor that Ali showed during his lifetime. And besides, Manny is an 8-division world champion. And he sort of imbibed from Ali those traits. And so we can be proud in many ways that we have somebody who approximates the greatest heavyweight champion of all time.
That they're different inside the ring, they're furious, but when it comes
Correct.
outside the ring, they're all of a sudden a different persona.
That's what makes them so great. It's not what you do in the ring, it's what you accomplish outside the ring. That's the important facet of a real world champion.
Okay, Sir Ronnie, where does Muhammad Ali rank among the most influential athletes of all time?
Well, I think he's number one.
For sure.
He's number one. I mean, you have the Michael Jordans, the Tiger Woods,
Yes.
and even modern day Steph Curry and so on, but there's nobody like Muhammad Ali.